Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining our live feed today as we are here Tuesday. What is it? Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, to take your U.S. immigration questions live for educational purposes only, not intended as individual legal guidance. As you all know, the immigration system doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of times, so people get confused. And, as the first step is just ask general questions here. If needed, you consult with an attorney or the like. We have a detailed guide on the marriage green card process, the fiance visa, and there's a lot of overlap there. You can download at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's the top place to find a free guide, 70 plus pages that goes through everything so you have an idea what's going on before you even talk with an attorney. So you can ask good questions if you have a consultation. Having said that, again, I'm here for general educational purposes only, not intended as individual legal guidance. And if you want to schedule a private consultation, jqklaw.com/contacts the website, jqklaw.com/contact. Fill that info in so we know what's going on. I don't speak Hindi, Dharmveer. And the other thing is the guide. I don't know if I mentioned it, but you go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's the website. Marriageimmigrationlaw.com is the website to download the ultimate marriage green card guide. So having said that, we're getting live here on TikTok, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and Instagram. And as your questions are starting to pop up, first one, Munter, one of our regulars, that Munter, I want to say it right, but I'm saying it wrong. Good to see you. As hello, boss. My DV lottery interview has come to Montreal. Congrats. In 2017, we came on B2 visas from the Middle East. We stayed in the U.S. for 4 days, left to Canada, and claimed asylum at the border. Okay, I don't know how sure how the asylum stuff works, but I don't think it per se matters for diversity visa lottery purposes. The problem is that your interview might take them a while to approve it, so that could be a problem. Uh, hey, we got a lot of time. If the interview's coming up and it doesn't run, visas don't run out until September. So when I become a permanent resident in Canada, I applied for my second B1, B2 from Toronto, was grilled on whose idea was to go to the US to Canada to claim asylum in Canada in 2017. I don't think that per se matters for your green card case, but quote, was it planned before? Was it done after you came to the US 2017? I was a minor at the time, didn't know anything about asylum in Canada. It was my parents' decision, which was the truth. Okay. I told them that. They gave me the B2 again with no issues. Okay, you got the B2. I became a Canadian citizen later, traveled the US many times. Will this become a problem? Diversity visa lottery in Montreal? Probably not. That itself, no, but who knows how the hassle you in general, but that itself doesn't seem like a problem. Big ass, I've been traveling outside the US for 5 months, then I spent 2 months back. Then repeat, immigration officers warned me saying the pattern showing abandonment of green card. I'm maintaining my US ties. Is it true? You're spending too much time outside, so they can start hassling you. It's going to affect citizenship probably. So whether you're maintaining ties depends on if you are or not. Are you living here? Do you have a house, a car, work, family? So they can hassle you. One follows up. It seems like we're trying to fish for misuse of visa misrepresentation, maybe, but overall, you never know what the consulates are doing. but you probably will be okay. But at your practice, do you still get medical RFE and marriage green card case ultimately lead to approval at the interview? Yeah, most of the time, almost all the time. I don't think it's going to shift during the current administration, but we'll see what happens in the next one. Lauren asks, okay, so he got married but didn't apply for green card yet. His visa expires tomorrow. Doesn't matter. If you're a U.S. citizen, it doesn't matter. If you're a green card holder, then it's going to be bad. Pontea is asked, if you have a pending I-130, are your chances less to get J-1 visa? Yeah, because it shows that you may want to live in the U.S., but it's going to be up to embassy. Munter says, seems like they were trying to, yeah. Thanks a lot, Big Boss. Looking fresh and sharp. Thank you. I feel kind of refreshed right now. I've been sleeping a little better than I have in the past, so it's good to see the videos. It's coming through. Thanks. Lauren Jabber, yeah, U.S. citizen. Listen, I don't know you, Lauren, per se. Like, this isn't individual guidance, so I can't say you're okay. I'm not allowed to say that because there might be other issues that exist that are problematic. But generally speaking, if a person overstays like a tourist visa and then is married to a U.S. citizen, it won't affect their marriage green card case. But I'm just not allowed to say that without talking with you. It's like you can't give medical advice and say like, okay, get this shot or like do this surgery without really talking with somebody. That's what I whole goal of saying that is educational purposes only. But schedule consultation, that's the primary kind of case we do. This is our professionals focus on your kind of case primarily. But thanks. Good luck. Framar, hi to you too. Vatsal, you're welcome. All right, let's see what's going on with TikTok. We already got a bunch of messages. Pontias, I have been for I-485 interview in the case under review for 7 months. Is that normal? I mean, if you had your interview at 7 months pending, It's not good, but I've seen it happen before. It could be normal, could be big issues. I don't know. I have to first like talk with you in private to see if there's any red flags I spot. And then sometimes they're just annoying like that and it gets approved. But without really learning, I got to see if there's any particular red flags that come out. We're like, oh, that's problematic. Boss, and by the way, if you're all watching on TikTok, the best place to contact us is through our YouTube page. Subscribe there or follow JQK Law or U.S. Immigration Talk because it's hard following what's going on TikTok with all the questions that pop up. Those places get priority. Jahyun says, or Boss says, I'm traveling abroad. Question follow up. Can they possibly send me in front of a judge to initiate a green card? I doubt they'll do that, but it's always possible. It's always possible. You probably better start getting a reentry permit. Joni asks, I'm from Jamaica, married a U.S. citizen. She filed the I-130 in August 2023 at the Nebraska Service Center. Yesterday, she got an email from you, initial request for initial evidence. That's a good sign or bad sign. It's not good, but it's not necessarily bad either. You got to see what the initial evidence or request for evidence is about, and depends on what's in there. If they say your marriage is not valid and it's really bad for some, if it wasn't valid. If they say, oh, you forgot to like send passport photos, then okay, that's not too bad. But it's a delay in the case nonetheless. Jetra says, I filed for my SIGIS in October when I get approval. We don't handle SIGIS cases and we don't answer timeline questions. So it's a double negative. I'll just help you out on that one. Hossein asks, how to respond to questions on I-485 if you've ever been charged, cited, or arrested if I pled. That's individual legal guidance. We got to see what happened in your court case because that has to be gotten into. Because if you pled something, you might have been arrested or you might have been detained. So that's like you definitely need to have a good immigration lawyer to talk with because that's going to be a sensitive issue. Lycind asks, I'm a U.S. citizen. My boyfriend has a tourist visa. We're getting married next week. Can I file the petition right after the wedding or do I have to wait? The wedding itself doesn't matter if you file it the next day or a week after or whatever. That doesn't matter. It's more about your boyfriend's background if it's proper for him to file on a tourist visa. So download our guide, Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. The website is marriageimmigrationlaw.com to schedule a private consultation so you can talk about your personal life in private. Jetras talks about, can a silent derivative go back to their home when they get a green card? Yeah, most likely. Renee says, am I subject to public charge if I'm married to a U.S. citizen? The way they view it on from I-485 is everyone is subject to public charge. So you have to say yes to that question and still answer it. But it's unless you've actually got long-term medical care or something like that, it doesn't affect anybody unless Trump comes back. Two Freak asks, do we have an opportunity to come as French nationality? I'm not sure what that question means. French people could get ESTA or visa, tourist visa, apply and come. Okay, so Jatras, I see you asked the question on TikTok and did what I asked and got on YouTube. So I did answer your question for other people, but I didn't have an answer because we don't do those cases. And it says, what is the correct procedure for removing an accompanying applicant from the MVC? Does it just contact them and say we don't want this person, I guess? Jatras says, I got a social security number stamped with the valid work for only with DHS. What does it mean? It can't be used for everything? Yeah, but you need work authorization. So the social security says before you get your green card, you're going to get work authorization. And so with that work authorization is a card. So you can only do work that's related to that work authorization that you have. I don't know, kind of sure what kind of work authorization. You probably got one that's for everything, so you can do anything, but I haven't read your paperwork, so I can't answer that question. Raider says, can permanent resident check travel history? Not anymore. The system doesn't work like it used to. Asan says, my mom got her interview date and I sponsor her. What's the chance for getting a green card? I don't know anything about you. That's not a possible question I can answer. Two Freak already answered that question. Mikey, what's going on with F2A? Can a green card holder sponsor her spouse and do adjustment of status? Maybe. If they're here long enough, the visa bulletin is current. If they don't have other previous violations and stuff, we got to see what's going on with your particular case. Schedule a private consultation, Mikey. jqklaw.com/contact. Asan, so if she's in the States, might be able to do adjustment of status, but we gotta see what's going on with your case. Angela, if you're ordered removal, can you fight after a 30-day appeal when it closes? We don't handle removal cases, so I don't want to answer that question. It's not our specialty, removal hearings. Jay Charles says, a silent derivative, how long do the green card application should take? As I mentioned before, we don't talk about timelines because it's unknown. And we have talk asking about silent pending and green card. No questions about timelines. Renee says, am I subject to public charge if I married you? I already answered your question, Renee. Maya says, if my student is expired, I think you mentioned your student visa, but my I-20 is still valid. Will that be a problem? If you're inside the United States, it doesn't matter. But if you leave, you need to get a new visa if it's your visa that's expired. Actually, how much does it take for your MVC to be approved? Depends on the MVC. Could be a few weeks, sometimes a few months. Sammy, what after biometrics and RFE for the latest tax? If you submit an RFE response, you gotta wait for their decision. Lauren says, do we do the green card and the work permit at the same time and send at the same time? You can. That's recommended. Fortune, do you recommend a lawyer if a case is straightforward, only if there are complications like divorces? I've always do recommend a lawyer because I've seen people who have like clean cases completely mess it up and destroy their lives. And so after, like when I first started practicing immigration law, when people would come out clean case, I would just do it yourself. I don't want you to spend all this money and all that. And then I see these people destroy their lives. I found the wrong paperwork, putting the amount wrong, filing it too late, saying stuff they shouldn't say that's like not even true. And so many disastrous things. These are people that are like uneducated or broke or anything like. These are like scientists and like people that make $1 million messing it up. And after that, I'm like, you know what? Just do it right. If you got the money, you can afford it, and you want to do something right, just go to the right person. It's just better that way. And even in my own life, I do that now. Sometimes like around the house, I'll try to fix stuff, and I end up easy stuff, end up breaking it, or plumbing stuff, or like fixing a door. I'm like, I should just get an expert to do this. If you can afford it, 100% get one. Now you got to spend time interviewing lawyers because every lawyer is different. And if you ask 4 immigration lawyers, you can get 5 different answers. So you got to go with someone you have confidence with. And that's why I come and do this live show you so you can see like my expertise and how I handle stuff. And I tell everybody, I don't do this kind of case. I do this kind of case. So you know what's up. And then have a consultation. We do paid consultations only, so that like annoys some people, but it is what it is. Talk with 5 people, 3 of them free consultations, 2 of them paid, and just pick the right person. It's more things. Spend the time, invest the time to talk with people and see who the right person is. But 100%, if you can afford it, get a lawyer. Emmanuel says, can I file for citizenship if my wife lives in another state? I'm assuming you want to file for U.S. citizenship in the 3-year method as opposed to the 5-year. And you can't if you don't live together, because one of the requirements for the 3 years is that you're married and living together. If you're not residing together, then you can't. Jay Gotti says, how long do I need to wait to apply for naturalization after enlistment at the Army? I don't think you have to wait at all. So once you got your green card, once you're active duty, you just file. I'm not sure between enlistment and active duty. People come to me at active duty already. But there's usually I'd handle that if they're marriage cases and they want to expedite citizenship because they're being stationed overseas. But if you're just on your own getting Army, there's programs for that I'm not familiar with because you don't get hired for that. And Buka says, I got here on a spousal visa. Do I automatically get a permanent resident green card? If you got an immigrant visa, yeah. You have to pay the fee. So I'm not sure if you do that or not. Mal says, immigration process, U.S. refugee. We don't handle refugee asylum cases, so I don't have an answer for you there. User 3 says, what questions come up in a green card interview for a stepchild of a U.S. citizen? They usually biographic information, parents' marriage information, that kind of stuff. It's just that it's been over 30 days since I submitted I-539 for spouse and still no receivable notice. Call USCIS, make sure they cash a check and went to the right place, all that. Colleen says, my husband got an approval letter for I-130, but it's still say case active reviewed. Yeah, the USCIS.gov website is not like updated properly, so that's why it's not reliable. Most of the information provided on the website is not reliable. You're welcome, May. User 3 says, I was deported from USA about 11 years ago. Can I come back? It depends if you could get. It depends on the facts of your case. Schedule private consultation. Fortune, wow, even with so much info online, how can people mess up the process? Oh man, they mess up every single aspect of it. so that's why it's better to get a lawyer, but. That's that. Abdul says, can a student apply for a visitor visa? Yeah, everyone could apply for it, but whether they get it or not is another question. Mani asks, after filing the I-130 and doing biometrics, how long to get an update? There's no timelines, whatever they want to do it. Manny says, if someone came on a B2 visa, apply for asylum withdrawal right after 2 months, can you travel again? Most likely, if you did that, they won't approve it, but you can. It's up to them whether they'll let you in or give you a new visa, but after that, they probably won't. But but they could still. Maybe they will. Who knows? Ebuka says, since spousal visa is an immigrant visa, do I still file for adjustment? So if you did it I-130, got approved, then embassy interview for an immigrant visa, you don't need to do adjustment. You did consular processing. But based on your question, you should know what's going on with these terminology I'm using because you just spent the last 6 to 12 months of your life dealing with it. So if you're asking this question, I would recommend having a private consultation to make sure you did stuff right or so you don't miss any deadlines or something. Because you just went through consular processing, went through the visa process and documents. Like you just spent a chunk of your life doing this. You should know which one of these going. So when we had another question here about if we should hire a lawyer, all the info is online. All this terminology, all this stuff is. I've done hundreds of hours of videos on this online. So please schedule a private consultation. But these are the issues that pop up because someone might have done a fiance visa and they thought it's a marriage visa and they failed. So You did these 260, you got your immigrant visa, you're an immigrant, they give you a paper after your interview that said pay the fee to get the green card printed. They should have handed you a piece of paper. So you should have to pay the $225, whatever it is for the visa you printed, and that's that. Britong says, will there be a problem traveling to Canada and Japan with just the extension letter? Should it be? But, everything's possible. Shiraz Khan, I just had an interview yesterday. How long to wait? However long the government wants it to take. Hunter says, I'm Nigerian, living in Nigeria. Please, how to get H-2B visa? You got to get an employer applying for you. Can I expedite green card application based on asylum? Probably not. You give it a shot, but probably not going to happen. Adam says, my status, removal 220. Can I get I-5 to advanced parole? Anyone can always apply for advanced parole. Probably not going to get it, but you could maybe apply. I mean, I don't know if I recommend doing it. I can see your issue in private. Mal says, can I expedite answer that question? Why is perm taking so long? This backed up. Renee says, my husband filed for his mother in Africa. Should we also mention her on my forms? Just got married. Maybe on the affidavit, it depends. Probably not needed, but it depends on what part of the case it is or not. Probably not, but on the I-130 petition, if they file for you, there's a question of other cases pending or not. So I can see where you are in the process. If you already submitted paperwork, it doesn't matter. But if it's the new stuff, you may have to, depending on which form you're submitting. I-864, the I-130, you might need to require that stuff. 000 says, boss, my father's a British citizen. His interview done for green card in London. They hold his passport. Okay, good luck. Rico says, how long is it normally taking to get a green card after getting married to a U.S. citizen? Depends on what kind of case you have. It could be 3 months, could be 3 years. Kayleen says, we filed I-130 and I-485 concurrently, and I-130 is approved with no interview. Will I-485 be required interview? Probably not, but it's not possible. User 307, what are the chances of being denied entry with advanced parole? I'm scared. People say it's risky. It's not really risky. It's rare to have problems, but it's how much risk you want to take on. Yeah, I don't know your background to see if there's a particular risk, but if you don't need to travel, don't do it unless it's an emergency. Jam-Teen says, how long a PD take to be granted? There's no time frame. Whatever the government feels like taking. I think you mean prosecutorial discretion. Marissa says, we got the I-61 waiver approved. Congrats. Would we get approved to get a green card when we go to yours? That's up to the embassy and your background. Mrs. Aizu says, will NBC expedite your case if your lawyer has to withdraw representation due to medical disability? I don't think that's related. Why would you need to expedite for that? And it says, how long does fiancé visa take? I have a detailed video on this, but does it take to what? To get the I-129F approved, to get the visa, to get the green card? Nicole says, how long after receive my documentary qualified letter will the embassy schedule my visa? Depends on the embassy you're dealing with, and they have different time frames. Some are 2 months, some are 3, 4, 5 years. What is Juarez? Juarez is Ciudad Juarez. It's a city or town in Mexico that handles the green card applications for Mexican citizens or people that live in Mexico. It's one of the busiest embassies in the world for green cards. So it's kind of a dangerous place too, unfortunately. But that's that. Yes, you get the I-129F approved between 8 to 15 months. Nicola says, thank you. You're welcome. Introvert says, can someone change their visa from B2 to F1? Yeah, we do that stuff. jqklaw.com/contact. Contact us and we'll help you with that. Marissa says, what would cause it to be denied? My spouse has been here 7 years, no criminal background record. It could be a lot of stuff. It could be medical issues. They accuse them of being alcoholic or drug user. It could be they have accusations of smuggling. It could be errors that they make. It could be misrepresentation or fraud claims that are made. So all these different people. Nicole says, I'm in Jamaica. Nicole, I lost track of what your question was. Sorry. So it's not, I can't remember what it is. Notification, is American passport enough to consider citizenship? I don't have a certificate. It is, but sometimes it won't be. So the certificate's always best. User 307, do you know how long the stepchild under 21 of U.S. citizens takes to approve or interview? It varies depending on what embassy you're dealing with, what issues are involved. It's up to the government. And to ask what to do after USCIS approves to expedite I-129F fiancé visa. If USCIS approves to expedite I-129F, you wait for them to expedite approval, then you got to do the rest of the steps. Renee says, I have no legal status with the J1 visa social security card. Do I need to get a new one? You either have J1 status or you fell out of status and you're out of status. So you don't need a new social security card. You need some sort of get immigration status. Introvert says, sorry, I didn't get that. Can you mention the website again? I'm not sure what we're talking about. Introvert, I can't remember your question. Let me see if I can. Someone jqklaw.com/contact introvert. If anyone wants to schedule a private consultation, is jqklaw.com/contact. Tammy says, can N600 interview be waived? Yeah, but I don't know. It's up to them. Usually we just get the certificate in the mail, but sometimes they might want you to come. Ahmed says, I have applied. Why does it join my team? I have applied in this April 2020 for EB3. How long? I don't know how long it's going to take. When it's not a passport, considered not valid. Sometimes the government just comes back and says, oh, we incorrectly issued the passport. Sometimes they'll just say we don't accept it. We think there's issues with it or expired. We don't accept it. So I've had it before happen, but it's like very rare. But I can't recall right off the top of my head when it was. Bluebell says, when should you change the embassy? My sister applied her husband's via UK, but now he's back to Pakistan. I mean, he's got to go to the embassy in the country he's living in, but Pakistan's going to be terrible, so have him move back to UK because you have to wait forever. Andrea says, how long does a letter take to apply for residency to VAWA? 2 years. We don't handle VAWA cases. I don't handle them, so I don't keep track of timelines. Bazamaro says, I'm a U.S. citizen. I applied I-130 for my wife in India 6 months ago. How long does it take to get acceptance notice or update? You should have got the I-130 receipt within a month. So if you haven't got that, that's a problem. It's been 6 months, but that's then a year to get some sort of decision usually. Hopefully asks, how long is immigrant visa for parent in El Salvador for me to qualify? I don't know. I haven't done an El Salvador case in a while, so I don't know that timeline. How long does I-130 take as U.S. citizen file for abroad, spouse abroad? Probably 12 months. Soleiman asks, I done my citizenship interview a few days ago, but no decision yet. I'm sorry to hear that. Bill says, I'm in Lebanon. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I'm at my interview. I was asked to file 212H. So I'm really sorry to hear that they asked you to file 212H. File for 212H. 212H is like a waiver for eligibility criminal admissibility. Ooh, 212H waiver. You got crimes. That's not good. Oops. What did I do here? Okay. And says, typically, how long does it take to then process the expedited on case? There's no technically, or it's just wait. There's no reliability in the government. What's your ethnicity? I'm curious. I'm Persian. Introvert says, got it. Thanks. You're welcome. D Queen, how long does it take for USCIS to grant a teenager on J2 a work permit? I don't know. It could be a month. It could be 6 months. Water says, I applied for asylum, planning to adjust status to marriage with green card holder possible. I'm out of status. Also take cases. Normally, you don't take your case because if you haven't maintained status, most of the time they'll deny your case. Sometimes, very rarely, they'll approve it. So you want your spouse to be a citizen, Waris, because if you're a green card spouse or a green card holder, they could deny that case. Let's see. And you haven't maintained status. Soleiman, okay, answer that question. Bill says, at 6-1 waiver, it's been about 2 years. Yeah, 6-1 waiver is taking forever. USA accepts passports. Usually they do, but sometimes they don't. I mean, randomly it'll be a problem. Texas says, still super long delays in green card renewals. Yeah, I did a video about renewing your green card, a 10-year green card for another 10-year green card that they've said is going to take so long that they're giving like 4-year extensions. And then all these people are like, you're a liar. I got my green card renewal approved in 1 week, 10 days, 2 months. And in the video, I said it could take 1 week or it could take 3 years. And people don't listen. And that's the thing about social media. When the video got a lot of views and you just get people don't think or listen to talking. But it could be a week. It could be 3-4 years for a green card renewal. It's pretty crazy. Unnecessarily. Why would it take that long? I don't know. But that happens. It's happening. But tomorrow, do we need to submit affidavit for an I-130 petition for spouse? You can if you have affidavit if you need to show evidence of your relationship and stuff. 007 said, sir, my father, British, his interview done at London Embassy. They hold his pass for 7 months. That's weird. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but 7 months is a long time to hold it. Good night, Ras. Football highlights. Wife got PR based on husband's asylum. He is naturalized now. When can she apply for naturalization? I don't know. I have to talk with your wife to look at her case. Hopefully says 212 waiver. How long in Las Vegas? I don't know. It's going to be 6 months. It could be 3 years. Okay. Why people get 221G? Because the government wants more information or needs to do more background checks. Sultan, if I do another interview, do I need police clearance when I return back to the country I obtained it? Probably it's better to have it just in case they ask for it. It's up to the government. Sam says, I went to Egypt and got engaged, came back last week and filed Iowa 29F. Well, good. Congrats on getting engaged. Jesus says, hello, how long do you think PIP will end over? I don't know when the parole in place program is going to happen or what. That's up to the courts. Do you have to wait 5 years if you're married to a U.S. citizen but don't live together to apply for U.S. citizenship? Yes. And if you're not living together, they may question the relationship, so you got to have a reason why you're not living together. Sammy, is it too early to apply? Sammy, I don't remember what your question was. Hey, says, how long does naturalization cases taking now? 3 months to 2 years. Suleiman, sir, what should I do? I done my citizenship interview a few days ago with no decision yet. I don't know. I maybe have issues and maybe just need to wait. I don't know. I don't know anything about you. Rise says marriage-based green card to citizen says 3 years, but do I apply? But I apply for any form? I'm not sure what you're saying, but if you're married and living with a U.S. citizen, you got a green card, you can file for citizenship after 3 years. Form M400. Kasobi says, can my wife adjust status? She has a pending I-130. I'm a green card holder. It depends if she's here lawfully. Your case is current. There's no misrepresentation. Maybe possible. Hopefully says, how often do they deny El Salvador for parent immigration? There's no statistics on that, and it doesn't matter how often. That's not a good question to ask. It's like, do you have a good case? Have you followed all the stuff? And there's any like red flags or something like that? It's really about your case, not about how often. Paranoid Human, good to see ya. Asked a friend was O1 visa, and when an extension request was received by immigration, they denied it and the initial O1. The visa holder left immediately and returned to B1. Would he possibly apply? Yeah, you got to be careful about any 90-day rule misrep, but we got to see why it was denied so it doesn't happen again. Kasabi says here on a B1, B2. So if you have an I-130 pending, you got to see if your priority date is current. And we got to get more information on when they applied for the B1, B2. Were you in a relationship or not? Did you mention it? Did they know? What did you say at the board at entry? We got to check the case for any misrepresentation or fraud that could have been made to a government officer. So I got to review that first. So case Kobe TV, schedule consultation. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact. If you're watching on YouTube, it's on the bottom right here, jqqlaw.com/contact. And schedule a private consultation to review that situation. How my son here is on a B2 visa, has a pending I-130. I'm an LPR. That's F2A. It just depends on what your priority date is and how the background looks. So please schedule. This is enough to where you need to schedule a private consultation, get some good advice, and plan out so you don't accuse you of fraud or something like that. What if they don't live together because of financial problems due to having children? If you have good explanation, but let's see what's going on. Carol said, is EB3 visa processing still a good way to get a green card on an employer? I mean, it's whatever you can get, really. I mean, if you have better ways to get it, then go with that. But it's not everyone has every option, so get what you can. Sorry, I went to Egypt. Sammy says, I got engaged last month. I applied for I-129F. Is it too early? No. You fulfilled the requirement of seeing each other, meeting each other. So that's that. Hay says, does divorce generally affect naturalization process? It depends on what the basis of the naturalization was, 3 or 5 year. And it depends on like when the divorce happened, if it was removal conditions or there's accusations of domestic violence in divorce or you owe alimony payments or something like. So it's maybe everybody's lawyer answer, but it's like maybe we got to get to see what's going on in your personal background to see what there's an issue. Rose says, hi, I married a citizen. I filed family petition last year in April. Last December, they requested me too. And then no more question there. Medical. Well, that's good. Good luck. Hopefully we got the medical. Football highlights asked the question and I already answered your question. So far, he stops asking the same one over again. Rose says, still is pending adjustments. Best of luck. Okay, football highlights. If I see your question again, I don't have to mute you. Please don't ask again. What's next step after G28? G28 is just a form that allows the lawyer to represent you. So there's not steps afterwards. That's something your lawyer submits for you. Cobble says, what is the current wait times for U.S. citizen spouse immigration interview time Abu Dhabi? It depends on what country you're from, but it could be 6 to 2 years, 6 months, 2 years. What is the current wait time? Answer that question. Footballer, ask the question. Again, the same question. You got to pay attention, footballer. Please schedule a consultation private because I got to see what's going on in your case. Cobble, I answer your question, 6 to 12 months, maybe longer for interview time in Abu Dhabi. And nearing the end of the show. What a good time for the flow questions to stop all of a sudden. So thank you everyone for joining today. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. If you want to schedule a private consultation, a private meeting, that's the way to go. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact. Please note there are people with fraudulent accounts that say they're me, but they contact you for WhatsApp or through Facebook or there's that kind of stuff or TikTok. They're not me. If you ever are going to get paid for a case, like not a consultation, but for a full-on case and pay big money, thousands of dollars, you're going to have a video consultation where we talk in private. If that doesn't happen, then that's that. And then football highlights. I answer your question like 2 or 3 times. Come on, do it yourself. If you're not listening, wife got PR based on husband asylum. He's naturalized now. His wait time 3 to 5 years. I don't know. Her husband got naturalized, and I don't know what's going on in her case. I don't know when you got married. If there's issues of misrep when it comes to marriage, I got to talk with you, learn about your case. You can't just throw out 2 pieces out of like 15 pieces of information that I need. Schedule attorney John. He's the best. Thank you, Texas boy. I really appreciate that. And yeah, it's kind of you. Paranormal Humor, thank you as well. Shumnam, hi to you too. Let's see. Shikwan says, I plan on starting law school in 2025. Is it a good time to pursue immigration law? It's always a good time to pursue immigration law. As long as you're a good attorney, that's fine. You're always going to win, just like anything, anything saturated. But as long as you're good and care about what you do, it's good. You got to have the hustle. You got to get business. You got to know how to talk to people, all these non-law skills. As long as you do that, that's good. How to apply for an EB3 from a B1? Well, EB3 requires an employer to file for your green card. So first and foremost, you got to find that. And so it's from a B1, it's going to be hard for you to do anything like that because of timelines. But first and foremost, how are you going to get someone to hire you or want to hire you? Sammy follows up. California processing time on I-129F is 6 months. Texas 13, but they don't allow us to file California. They pick and choose who's going to file your case. You have no power over that. Timelines are all over the place. You might see California take 13 months and Texas take 3 months. So none of the information provided by the Immigration Department, USCIS.gov, could be, construed as reliable. There's just general, stuff there, but just not that. Why do U3 take so long? Because they're backed up. Aham says, how does someone come to work in the U.S. if they're in another country? Well, they got to get a visa for that, have an employer, all that kind of stuff. Janae says 13 months, documents qualified, no interview in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, that's why I said earlier, Abu Dhabi, 6 to 24 months, probably closer to 24 months. Sonic says, hi, can we still file for a VAWA if I come no later that my wife is already married to someone else and had divorced him? We got to look into that case, what's going on right there. You might have a U visa claim if there's abuse. But I got to see what's going on there. The issue there is you might not have been married because your marriage was invalid in the first place, and that could affect the VAWA because you have to be a married U.S. citizen. I have to check out the fact pattern. I don't have an answer top of my head, so I have to deal with that kind of issue. That's pretty terrible. But you have the view visa option if there was abuse and stuff like that. Having said that, let's call it a day. It's 30-minute show. We're past 30 minutes, 32 minutes almost right now. God bless everyone. Be safe. We'll be back again next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. If you want to schedule a private consultation, go to jqqlaw.com/contact. Again, that's jqqlaw.com/contact. And download our marriage green card guide. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Learn about the process, then schedule a private consultation to talk about your case. Having said that, all God bless, be safe. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.